Imagine leaving the GMC at Mercedes-Benz in one of the biggest cities in the US to launch your own AI company, a company built to fix the very problems you lived on the showroom floor. That's exactly what today's guest has done. Welcome back to What the Prompt, where we turn buzzwords into real dealership moves. I'm your host, Michael Rodriguez. Today we got Chris Martinez, former GM of Mercedes Benz San Antonio, fellow Austin guy, and now founder of IgniteUps AI. We're diving into his journey, what he saw in the dealership, and why he believes Ignite Ups is rewriting the playbook for sales enablement. And before we dive in, if you're a dealership thinking about AI, just starting to explore it, or looking for real world results from real tools, we've built the industry's first and only auto retail AI pilot network. And if you're a vendor looking to expand your reach and get your tech into more rooftops, let's connect. We're helping both sides run smarter, faster, leaner, and more profitable pilots. Chris, let's kick off with your story. From Austin to running Mercedes-Benz SA, what are some of your biggest lessons you learned on the floor and in the GM chair?
One of the reasons why I felt like I was, I sold a lot of cars when I was on the floor, selling 30 plus cars a month, was because of my follow-up game. I thought my follow-up game was better than most, and I was pretty relentless on how many times I'd call people or send messages and try to get in front of people, because I felt like if I talk to them, at some point I got to sell them. And so that was one of my big takeaways, and one of the things that's helped me as I've grown in different leadership roles and growing different stores and groups, was how do we get connected to people that have already shopped with us, and how can we reactivate them so that they can come back in. I've done a lot of studies, and if a dealership can just improve a 5% lift, you're talking in service and sales, that's potentially another $500,000-$700,000 annually. And it's just a lot of money people are leaving on the table. NADA says national average is 34% retention. Toyota's on the high end at 60%, but there's a lot of dealers on average it's 34% retention, and that little 5% increase could mean a lot of money to your bottom line.
Why do you think precisely poor follow up occurs?
I think it's just, rejection. People hear a voicemail. Oh, this guy's he was the one that just kind of kicking tires, and they're just not really sold on the fact that it wasn't a lay down, that you may need to call the person, email them, text them. You may have to follow up more than one time. Most follow up stops after the first contact, and 90% of all follow up stops after the fourth one. And most deals are made on the 5th up to 12th contact. So when you think about those stats, and I'm not just making them up, right? Those are right. You can chat GPT or whatever you want to do, like that information's there, right?
Yeah.
And sales follow-up is not good, right? And it's more so like the follow through, because even some dealers have some really good work, 90-day work plans and this and that, but guess what happens? Salespeople aren't completing their daily tasks. The work plan is never complete. I mean, I can walk into any store in the country, open up the CRM, and see how many daily work plans, daily tasks are left undone for the day. And if they're 100% complete, which I've never walked into one that was 100% complete, I imagine they're pencil whipping it, and they're just checking the box.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So those are the kind of things that, and I started my career at CarMax. They had the same type of issues too, follow up. When I went to Universal Toyota, similar scenarios. I went to Charles Mont Toyota. We grew that store to over 1,000 cars a month. We did a lot of data mining and going after clients and doing all that, and built another software when we did that. And we ended up selling that one, which was great. But now, that with the advent of AI in the last 12 months, we've been developing this platform now that will help salespeople do that. And it's not meant to replace them. It's just meant to do the things they're not doing anyway.
Right. Was there a single enough is enough moment for you?
I wouldn't say it's a enough is enough, but other than it was more of like when I listen to this AI and I can train it and talk to it like a real person and it understands what I'm saying and it was just one of those things that I was like, man, this is how it's going to be going forward.
Yeah.
As the voices evolve, you're already seeing people just talking more to the AI than they are talking to anybody else. They feel like
Yeah.
they've almost become like a therapist for them. And more people, it's just going to be the way people operate. They're not going to, they'd rather go talk to an AI than talk to a human. And it's kind of scary. Don't get me wrong, because this just happened recently when I was at the store. I had customers trying to negotiate the car deal using Chat GPT in front of me, and I had to use Chat GPT to make a counter argument based on what that her agent was talking to her about. So it's a different world right now.
That's definitely silly. You and I both know the pain points: missed follow ups, weak training, clunky CRMs. From your seat as GM, where did you see the biggest revenue leaks?
I've taught sales training for my 22 plus years. I've been doing this, right?
Yeah.
And I teach them how to use the scripts, and I tell them follow the scripts. Don't it's good to you can ad lib here and there, but just follow these guides. They're there for a reason. I used them when I was a sales professional because I thought, man, these guys spent a fortune developing this. I'm going to just try it. And I remember as a sales professional, I would just follow that guide, and sure enough, I'd get appointments all the time. It was like,
Mhm.
and everybody would be like, "Man, I can't believe I just turned into Chris's greeter because he's got all these appointments, and they're just standing out front." And I'm like, "Man, it's just I'm just following this guide.
Right.
It's nothing super fancy." And those are the things that happen, right? People still think, I could do it my way. I do it this way. And there's accountability. You do all of this stuff. But at the end of the day, people are people. You got that 80-20 rule, right? Like people are, 20% of the people are going to do what 80% won't. So there's still that chunk of people. And that's why automotive has such a high turnover, and not just in sales, but service and orders and every role.
Yeah.
It's just part of the game, you know.
Yeah, I go through my guest LinkedIn and check out posts and messages and things like that. And dealers are constantly told to just buy more leads from the OEMs, et cetera, et cetera. You've said the gold is already in the system. What do you mean by that?
Well, I'll give you an example. I've hired really good salespeople, and then I've seen some dealers put these really good salespeople in. Hey, look, I want you to handle this type of lead. I want you to these are the leads that I want you to work. And I had a good friend of mine that I said, man, don't work. I know this was back when I was on the sales floor, right? And I remember thinking, don't do those leads. They're going to burn you out, and you can sell cars off of it, but it's going to burn you out. You're not going to have a lot of traction, and you're going to end up just quitting.
Right.
And sure enough, he was getting a ton of leads all day, every day, but they weren't customers. They were 400s, had, no money down, negative equity, made very little income. And he had a lot of those opportunities, but they just weren't a market fit for him to that
Mhm.
day. Like maybe down the road with some guiding and counseling, maybe, but that just wasn't going to happen. And so for me, when you're giving them all those types of leads, a lot of times are they the right type of leads, and
Mhm.
are you putting the right person in there? I'd rather have an AI type of person that could follow up with those types of customers that are gonna be that last man standing, right? Because they're not going to get burned out after 90 days. They can keep going, where you'll burn out a really good salesperson on these types of customers or leads, you know?
I, I don't know, Chris. I'm a really good get me done lead responder, man. I'll make somebody send me some stips before.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I almost I've been in their shoes. I think is what makes me a little bit different. But let's talk ignite ups.
Okay.
In car guy language, what is it and how does it actually solve what you just described?
So it's really easy. We do real conversational AI, right? It's with voice, email, SMS. We can create a whole cadence for 52 weeks. The AI generates the scripts, the emails, everything,
Mhm.
and it'll keep following up for as long as you want it to follow up. And it's not gonna get tired. It's not gonna call in sick, and it's gonna make those phone calls, send the text message, send the emails, and it's gonna do it in a way that your best sales professional would do it. Like you're really good at those types of customers.
Mhm.
Well, we're gonna have that best type of AI agent that's gonna be able to understand how to follow up with those people, what words work, what hooks, word tracks to get the customer to respond and to engage. And we've been testing it out, for several months with different stores, and it's done really well. Proven exactly the hypothesis, and now we're ready to start talking to more dealers, and it's done everything that I've thought it could do and more, and it's pretty amazing.
I love that. I love where you're going. I love the vision. Everyone in auto tech says they can automate follow up, train reps, or add AI. How does IgniteUp separate itself from the current category of auto retail AI?
So what I've seen, and I've had it at my stores. I'm not going to name any of the products, but it's like a five-car salesperson would follow up, or like somebody that doesn't understand persuasion and how to get these people to the next step, and how to sell them, and what kind of words to say to get them re-engaged, and they give up after, like, the customer says, I'm not interested. They immediately say okay, and then and I'm just like, well, I mean, they're just not really salespeople trying to get them engaged and get them to the next step.
Yeah. So I did watch your video yesterday where I think it was an equity
Interest rate one. Yeah.
it was an interest rate one. I love it because, yeah, you're right. As soon as someone says no, okay, great. Let me know when you're ready. I'll follow up in the future, some jazz. But the AI kept going in confident, comfortable presentation. Love that. Love that definitely.
And here's the
Uh,
beauty of it. It's not going to forget to do it. It's going to do it 100% of the time, every time. It's
right,
not going
right.
to not read the script. It's going to read it 100% of the time, every time. And that's what you find, right? Like, even for me, there's been times that after a call, I'm like, damn, I should have said this, or I should have done it this way, or should have handled it. The AI is only going to know the way you taught it that one time. It's not going to forget, and it's going to keep
Mhm.
going.
Now, is this a standalone? Are we integrating into another CRM? How does this work? Or is it plug and play? Because most of our audience in stores, they don't want to learn new processes. They don't want to learn a new tool. You're going to have the 3 day or 90-day run where we wasted money on it. How does this work where it's a ease of use?
Same thing. So we will get data from you guys and from the dealer, and then we just go and reactivate. It's all a done for you model. Want someone to log in and start, tinkering around and trying to send out their own things, because there are some people that will want more hands-on type of thing, and
True.
we can help some of them.
Yep.
But for the most part, it's done for you. Hey, we need XYZ, and we'll send you this many appointments every month.
Are we sending the hand raisers to cell phones, notifications, etc.?
Absolutely.
Very cool. If I'm a GM or dealer principal listening right now, what do I need to know about adopting AI the right way in 2025?
In 2025 today, the way I'm positioning how we're going after dealers is we're not trying to get them to change their process. We want to fit into a position where we can handle some after hours calls,
Mhm.
Sunday calls if they're closed, overflow for the inbound agent, and as far as reactivating their owner base, that's what we're trying to live in. We can live on their CTA, we can do all of that, but there's a lot of it's a lot heavier lift to try to get them to understand. Well, it's going to be they feel like it's more of a disruption. I think right now, ease yourself into it, do something like
Mhm.
what we're doing, and as you get confidence and understand what we do and how we do it, then you're going to be like, well, you know what, it really works. I'm seeing big results. I can sell. We're selling more cars, so maybe they're on to something. Let's go ahead and add it on our CTA, and let's have it as a full time BDC agent answering the initial call, and then go from there. But in the short term, my goal is just let me just kind of show them how we can fit in today without disrupting their current process and only amplifying what they're currently doing.
Now, I'll be honest, I'm a little biased because I've only been in the sell side variable ops, never in service. Are you all also service
Yes,
as
absolutely.
well?
For
Okay.
the
Okay.
dealers that want to grow, because there's some dealers that can't handle the current workflow they have, right?
Yeah.
They're still like on a 2 month waiting list to get into service. So there's
Yeah.
there's there's some that
True.
have the capacity, and there's
Yep.
some that want even more, right? They want
Yep.
to increase their capacity, and we can drive more business in service upcoming, past due, major services, and all their open recalls. I mean, the AI agent can keep following up with them and write the right message, the most compelling hook to get the customer engaged to book an appointment.
Got it. If I'm a, sales rep, how does Ignite Ups make my day better?
Just making sure that that daily work plan is taken care of, you
It's
know.
checking my boxes for me. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
yeah. Well, we what we do is we'll do a lot of unsold prospects and
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
ones that came in, and we're going to start following up with those people in day one and getting them back in. A lot of times it's just a conversation where the AI will just ask, "What's stopping you from moving to the next step?" And you'd be surprised a question like that, how many people just say, "Well, he didn't give me enough for my trade," and
Mhm.
then boom, we're back into the engagement, and we teed up for the sales department, and now they're moving.
Chris, before we wrap up, I want to give you the floor. Where can people find you, learn more about Ignite Ups, or book a demo?
They can go to IgniteUps AI, or they can go to LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn on almost every social media platform. You're going to see me creating videos every day, talking about sales follow up and the lack thereof, and how dealers and everybody could be helped today with these tools that are available today from IgniteUp.
Perfect. That's today's conversation on What the Prompt. Big thanks to Chris Martinez for joining us. If you got value from this episode, smash that subscribe button, drop a comment, and share this with one colleague. That's how we keep these conversations alive. See you on the next one.